Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's things where you are? Let me know in the comments. Today was one of those days for me where there was some stress and specifically tied around just hitting a button, hitting the go button, essentially. For the last 2 weeks, I've been working extremely hard on completely revamping one of my software projects. It had grown to an unmaintainable state. I mean, it wasn't unmaintainable, it was just a pain to update because of the way that I had built it. I built it before I knew any frameworks, before I used, Twitter Bootstrap or anything like that. It was all 100% my creation, and well, that was holding it back. So I needed to do something about it, and so I spent the last 2 weeks just really hammering away on updating it to add it to Bootstrap or convert it to Bootstrap, and it's been kind of rewarding. Part of the upgrade also meant that I revamped a lot of the routing and such that some pages use to build the pages as you play. Not play, it's not a game, as you use it. So the stuff that needed to be reworked for years that was just legacy code, I got to kind of retouch up and make it work better. And so it's been 2 weeks of that. And today I finished. I finished enough to push it live. And I tell you, that's like the most stressful situation for some reason. For me, like I've spent 2 weeks on this and I've been through, I don't want to say every line of code. I haven't, because a lot of my functions they stay the same. But I've been through a lot of this code. I've tested every change multiple times to make sure that everything was working flawlessly. It should be good. Like I went... the last thing I did today was to go through my production database and make sure that every single table matches identically to my test database, because I made changes during this whole revamp. I used Git. We use Git at work, so I used that. I was working on a separate branch. I merged the branches. There was no conflicts. So theoretically, when I push that go button, when I make that Git pull and update the production server, everything should just be the same. It should just work. But it's still a nightmare for me. Today I rewrote all of the administrative documentation for administrators. They have their own documentation site where they can go read like how all the functions and stuff work. This is a fairly decently sized program for me. It's the biggest program that I've created. It's got a couple thousand users that they log in daily. There's constant activity of people registering and unregistering classes and updating stuff. It's a very, very well used system. Some of my other projects, one of the other ones I have, like it's used basically 2 weeks out of the year, maybe 4 weeks total. Twice a year it's used for 2 weeks and then it's not used again. So this project is like the biggest project I've ever built. It has thousands of users who are using it daily, and it does quite a bit of stuff. And I'm very proud of it. But, I spent 2 weeks making it better. But at the end, when it came time for me to hit the button, I just froze. Like, I remember when I was a mechanic and I would repair an engine or repair a transmission. That moment right before I turned the key to start the car was always like the most stressful moment of my life, because it's like, did I refill it with oil? Did I put this in? What did I do wrong? What am I about to destroy when I start this car? It's the same thing when I'm about to hit this button that says go. What have I done? Like, what am I about to destroy? And ultimately it came down to I didn't do it. I couldn't. I could, but I couldn't. I leave work usually around 3, and that's about when I was ready to hit the button. But I know there's a lot of users that are active in the app all the way into the evening hours, and I wasn't positive what would happen if they were in the middle of something when I hit go. what would break and how badly it would break. So I decided to hold off until tonight. I'll do it tonight. And then hopefully in the morning everything works great. And it'll be, I'm sure I'll get lots of messages because it does look differently. I tried to keep the feel of the application the same, but you know, everything is in the generally the same place as it used to be. It just looks a lot better and it's a lot more updated and clean looking. But man, I don't know. Like, is that normal to stress out like that right before you just do it? I mean, I would have thought that all the stress that I went through over the past week of making it work would have been the enough to say, all right, I'm comfortable with this. I know that it works. I'm going to go. But no, I still just froze up. I don't know. How do you overcome that? Do you have a method? I'm not sure that I do, other than to just kind of pause for a few minutes and then say do it and then go. I'm sure there's bugs, but I'll fix them. I always do. I've never had a game-changing bug that's made me revert an update. I've had bugs that I've had to fix live while talking to customers on the phone, but I've never done it. I never had to roll back an update because I screwed something up that bad. So hopefully this isn't going to happen tonight. But we'll see. And I'll let you know tomorrow. Maybe. No, I will. That's all I have for you. Just let me know. Is there a way that how do you overcome that stress of like, I guess it's like stage fright? Like, I'm about to do this presentation. Same kind of stress. Do you have a secret weapon for overcoming that stress? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from topics.info.com. Which is the most abundant metal on the Earth's crust? Aluminum is the most abundant metallic element on the surface of the Earth and Moon. It composes more than 8% of the Earth's crust. It is never free in nature, combining with oxygen, sand, iron, and titanium. Its ores are mainly bauxites, aluminum hydroxide.